Hey guys, Tiffany Rummel here from tiffanyrummel.com. Are you just getting started with a blog and you're not really sure what you should really even be including to really get yourself started? So today I wanted to talk about the 7 content tips I have that you can be sure to include when you're just starting your blog. So I personally made this mistake when I was getting started. I spent a lot of time playing around with different blogs and trying to make it perfect. And at the end of the day, it just doesn't need to be perfect, right? The most important thing is that you start putting yourself out there, start putting content out there, and really start helping your customers with the problems that they have and helping them solve their problems. So these are really the things that you want to get in there, put them in there, and then just get yourself started and don't really worry about perfecting it. So to get started, the first tip that I have for you is obviously you need to start a blog. So I don't want to talk too much in detail about that on this video, but for you to get started, I mean, you need a couple different things. You need a hosting platform, so a platform that's actually going to house your website. I personally use Bluehost for that. There's other services out there, so you can browse around and see which one works best for you. I find that Bluehost works really well with my WordPress blogging platform. So in that regard, you also need a platform for your blog. I personally use WordPress along with the Bluehost, and that works really well for me. So I definitely recommend it, but again, do your research and see what is going to work best for you. Number 2, and this is really one that I didn't necessarily want to include, but for me I found it important, and that is picking a color scheme and a theme for your website. So I don't want you to get hung up on this because it's really not that important. But what I found was helpful was picking a color scheme that matched my theme and matched my audience, right? So if your target market is women, maybe women in healthcare or women in the healthcare and beauty industry, then you want your colors to be geared towards women. Maybe that's more pinks, that's more purples. That really matches with that crowd. Whereas maybe you are targeting men who want to bulk up. You're probably not going to use pink and purple colors on your website, right? So pick a color palette that works for you, that works for your target market and what they would want to see. Now, in terms of picking colors, I personally really recently fell in love with Design Seeds. It's a website, it has a whole bunch of different color palettes, and you can kind of go through and it will show you all the different color palettes and colors that work together, and you can choose one of those for your website. And the great thing is that they tell you all of the codes for the colors so that you can write those down, and then while you're creating and designing your blog and any of your images, you can use those colors in them so that it really feels cohesive as an overall website. And then secondly, when it comes to branding and your theme and overall look of your site, you really have to choose a theme. For your WordPress blog or wherever you're hosting it on, I recommend you go with a free theme if you are just getting started. There's lots of paid ones out there, there's lots of free ones out there, but again, don't really get caught up on being perfect right now, right? Pick something that you like, pick something that's going to work for you, and just starting putting content out there, because at the end of the day, things are going to change. You're going to change maybe who you're targeting, and it's just not worth it to have to waste all the time now trying to get it perfect, because things are going to change, your business is going to change as you go. So number 3 is you're going to want a menu at the top of your website. So you want to have things like an About Me section, which we will talk about. You're going to want to tell people how they can connect with you, which is something we're going to talk about. Maybe you highlight some of the different blogging categories that you have on your site. So if you talk a lot about social media, maybe you talk a lot about network marketing, make sure that you have a link that somebody can pull up all your blog posts related to that topic. You'll see at the top of mine, I have very similar headings in mine. Number 3, you want an About Me page, right? So this is really important, and don't take this lightly, if you will. I mean, at the end of the day, you are putting yourself out there in the marketplace. You want to connect with your prospects. You want to connect with your audience and the people who are looking for you. And one of the first things that they're going to do is they're going to come to your About Me page and see, who are you? Who is this person? What are they about? Where did they come from? How did they get here? Why are they doing what they're doing? And this is really the first opportunity that your audience has to really connect with you. And at the end of the day, you are trying to connect with your audience. You want them to, start to know you and like you and trust you. And your About Me page is really the first places that they can do that. So make sure you do have an About Me page, and as well link it in your menu. Next, you want to have a free giveaway. So this is something known as a lead magnet. Some people call it a freebie. Maybe you think of it as an ethical bribe. Whatever it is, it's something of value that you can give to your target market. So really think about who your target market is and what problems do they have, right? If you are targeting network marketers, right? Maybe one of the biggest challenges that a specific network marketer has is getting leads into their business. How can you provide them something with getting leads? Maybe you teach them how to start a blog like you're seeing right now. Maybe you give them tips on how they can do a Facebook Live, right? There's lots of things you can do to help people get more leads into their business if that's your target market. Maybe you are in the fitness industry and you are targeting people who really want to get healthy. Well, maybe you can give them a list of free recipes that you put together for them, or maybe you put together a free meal plan. But find out what the problem your market has and a way that you can help them solve it. One other thing that you can do that I actually personally do, you'll notice on my website, is I offer a free resource library. And what that means, it's a password protected area where if somebody subscribes, they can get access to it, they get the password, and then they have access to all of your freebies that you give away. So I like that because I feel like it gives a lot more value to my prospects, to my customers. They can have access to all the good content I put out there. Secondly, it makes you work a little bit harder, right? It makes you and forces you to give really good value to your customers. It makes you stand out as more of an authority, and it's just a great place to really connect with your customers. So that's another opportunity or something different that you can do as well to help capture leads into your business. Contact details. So this is a really important one. If people decide that they want to work with you, or that they need your input on something, or they have a question, they need to know how to get in touch with you. Should they call you? Should they email you? What's the best way to get in touch? If people don't understand what you're about and how to work with you, then how can you expect them to just magically show up somewhere? So contact details are really important. Again, make sure you're putting it in the menu header at the top of your website. And lastly, and really importantly, a call to action. So what is it that you want your customers to do, or your prospects to do, when they're finishing up your blog or whatever it is? Do you want them to share it to Facebook? Do you want them to share it on other social media sites? Do you want them to buy something? Do you want them to join your mailing list? Like, what is it? And ask them. It's really important to include a call to action. People aren't just going to know to do something unless you ask them to do it. So those are my 7 content tips I have if you're starting a blog and you're brand new. These are really the important things that you want to include in your blog and really just get you off to a fast start. I personally started this blog, TiffanyRummel.com, in about 3 or 4 days. I got it set up, I made sure I included all the critical attributes, and then I just hit the ground running and started putting out content. I was able to worry about the details later and make it perfect later. Just get started. That is the most important thing. So I hope you guys got some value out of this video. If you did, please leave me some comments below. Please feel free to share the video. I provide a lot more training just like this, both on my YouTube channel, so if you want to connect with me there, please subscribe to my feed. And I also offer a free Facebook group where I provide daily training through Facebook Lives, and you're able to kind of interact with other people just like you who are maybe just getting started with a blog. You can, post your blog post and kind of get feedback on things that you're looking for if you're really just getting started. And I'll post the links below to those. The Facebook group is Engineered Female Entrepreneurs. But again, I'll put the link in the comment section to this video. So I hope you guys got some value out of this, and I will see you on the next video. Bye!